It's time for another round of live, local, play-by-play coverage of Southwest Metro Sports on PSB Media.
Taken away by Spinner, potential shorthanded opportunity. Here comes Steven Spinner, the captain. Shot, score!
Great blocks in front of him, just waits for him to develop, breaks an arm tackle, and he'll dive for the end zone.
Watch the teamwork, tradition, and all-out competition unfold live on any streaming device.
Annie with it, gives off for Zulsdorf through traffic. Here's an opportunity, score! Oh boy.
PSB Media's coverage of tonight's game is brought to you by The Malt Store, Umbria Gourmet Pizzeria, Athlete PT, Noodles & Company of Eden Prairie, The Sun Current, The Tavern on 4 and 5, and in partnership with Minnesota Football Magazine, the Pioneer Press, and BEC TV.
And it drops! The game is over! Forest Lake wins 1-0 in the bottom of the 10th. Brett Gravel is the hero.
Catch all of the action all season long on your home for Southwest Metro Sports. PSB Media.
Brady Shoe up from his defense. We'll leave it for Graham. Graham works his way and scores in overtime. Michael Graham with the game.
Game time is coming up next.
And welcome into Braemar Ice Arena as we're live for high school hockey here on this Saturday afternoon. Eden Prairie versus Edina, final regular season game for both of these teams as we're already set to hit section playoffs next week. Hard to believe the season has gone this fast, but this is indeed the last game of the year, and it's certainly a good one here between the Hornets and the Eagles. Edina comes in the number 2 rated team in the state, 21-1-2, while Eden Prairie, one of the hotter teams here in Minnesota, 16-8 record. They've won 4 in a row and have pretty much wrapped up the number 1 seed in section 6AA. So looking forward to a good matchup this evening as it's dumped in to the Eden Prairie end. Trying to dig it out of the corner are the Edina Hornets. That's Parker Mismatch playing on that big first line for Edina. It's a line that's combined for just about 150 points. They throw it in front and score right away. How about that? Dylan Malmquist gives Edina a 1-0 lead just 27 seconds into the hockey game as that big first line I was talking about comes through. And a nice little pass out to the front. Malmquist able to get behind defenseman Mark Sullivan on that play. Get a look at it there again. Going to his backhand, beats DeRocher, and it's 1-0 Edina. So for Dylan Malmquist, that is his 25th goal on the season, now to give him 64 points. How about that? What a season the Notre Dame recruit has had. Now Riley Argetsinger trying to counter here for Eden Prairie as they get it across the blue line. They get stonewalled though by the Edina defense. Here's Brady Shue playing it over to Leverman. They'll turn it over. Edina in the Eden Prairie zone. Here's Nolan Sullivan off the half wall and out. Now it's Casey Middlestad with a one-on-one. Middlestad to the top of the circle. Takes a shot and an easy save made by Kobe Bowe. Very good numbers, 18-1-2 with a .910 save percentage, 178 goals against, has 5 shutouts on the year, does the senior netminder for Edina. Stopped 29 shots against Eden Prairie in the Hornets' 5-0 victory from a few weeks ago. He'll be opposed by Eden Prairie netminder Sean DeRocher, 12-6 with a 2.92 goals against, 898 save percentage, has 2 shutouts, and DeRocher's primarily been the goaltender this season for Eden Prairie. Nick Weinsteck, I should say, has also seen some time as well. Now it's Eden Prairie in the offensive zone momentarily, but Edina's able to get it out, and now they go across the blue line as getting tackled to the ice will be number 21, Robbie Hatch. Now Eden Prairie the other way as they'll bank it up and outside the zone. That's Safran. Played back to the Edina defense. It's Sam Foose. And now here comes Copeland as they'll dump it into the zone. Aguilar to pick it up for Eden Prairie. Andy Aguilar putting up some good numbers as he's had 2 goals and 2 assists, or excuse me, he's 7-0 I should say. In games in which he scores are the Eden Prairie Eagles. Now play it up ahead to Mark Sullivan as he backhands it into the zone. Edina defense gets there first as it's Walker. Now they'll turn it over. Michael Graham tried to pass it out in front, couldn't connect though. Graham gets it back, looking for Boldenau in front, takes it himself to the corner. Still with his stick handle, now he's helped out by Brett Boldenau. Into the corner, the puck trickles, it's Luke Johnson for Edina. And now they get that up ahead on the left wing side. Here's Eden Prairie from the defensive zone as Shue will backhand it around to Brett Boldenau. Now over to Nick Lieberman. Brings it around to Sullivan, but not out. Held in by the Edina defense. Walking it near the blue line is Phillips. Now out in front, it's steered away by Sean DeRocher. Eden Prairie from the near side corner. They're able to get it out to Boldenau. Now Mark Sullivan. That line's been on the ice for about a minute or so. A little bit of a long shift for them as Eden Prairie switches their attackers. Riley Argetsinger putting pressure on over skate of the puck, and now it's Edina going the other way. Ben Foley across the blue line. Out at center, there's a shot, gets deflected up into the netting, as we'll have a whistle with 13:36 to go here in the first period. Hornets out to a 1-0 lead on that goal by Dylan Malmquist just 27 seconds into the hockey game. And glad to have you with us here on this Saturday afternoon for the final regular season hockey game. Sections start up on Thursday, although both these teams, Eden Prairie and Edina, probably won't be playing on Thursday. Edina, the number 1 seed, likely in Section 2. Eden Prairie, the likely number 1 seed in Section 6. And with those two sections each having just 7 teams, the number 1 seed will get a bye to the quarterfinals next weekend. The Roachers able to cover it up with 13:24, and looking ahead to the section playoffs, Edina would likely be playing at the Bloomington Ice Garden coming up next Saturday. The only way they would be able to play at home here at Braemar is if they were to match up with Bloomington Jefferson in the section semis. Eden Prairie could go either way, playing at either Big or also here at Braemar. Up ahead it goes to Middlestad as he gets hip checked off the puck. Now it's Paul Meyer. Good numbers for Meyer, 1 goal, 16 assists. A very stout Edina defense that they've had all season long. They give up just 1.88 goals a game this year. Having a little trouble clearing it outside the zone as Eden Prairie, as Middlestad has it pop up into the air. It trickles outside the zone as Nolan Sullivan will attempt to chase it down. Kicked up ahead by the Edina offense. Pushed in as it'll be chased down by Garrett Malmquist. He gets lost it. Now he's helped out in support by George Dronin. Middlestad to saucer that outside the zone, and that one will go on net, so icing is waved off. Ben Foley tipped into the zone. Getting there first is Louis Rail for Eden Prairie. He'll play over to Brady Shue, helped out by Hastings. Now it's Hugh Trumpy, pushed ahead by Alex Pizon with a burst of speed to the end wall, and now the corner. Now it's Edina the other way, Casey Dornbach. Now with some speed, it's Haug. Couldn't get it on cleanly. 12 minutes to go here in the first period. 1-0 Edina with the lead. Shots on goal favor the Hornets 5-2 here early on. This Hornets team has won 12 games in a row in which they've outscored their opponents 68-23. And during that 12-game winning streak, just 3 teams have stayed within 2 goals of Edina. Back on the attack of the Edina Hornets. Oh, what a play to get that in front. Trying to go 5-hole on Sean DeRocher, but he comes up with a big save. Keep this a 1-goal hockey game. Now Louis Rail from the far side. Tries to pass that up ahead. Got stonewalled there by the defense. Now pushed into the corner. Will be picked up by Ben Foley. 5 goals, 13 assists for the senior defenseman for the Hornets. Out at neutral, it's Tyler Safgren. His pass intercepted. He was looking for Johannes. Now the Hornets going the other way across center ice. They'll dump it in as they're off on a piecemeal change. Shue, senior defenseman who's been playing well as of late. Brady Shue with points in 7 of his last 8 games for the Eagles. There's a shot blocked by Eden Prairie. And now for the Eagles, they'll just dump it into the zone as they're off on another change. Shear dumps it in. It's picked up by Aguilar for Eden Prairie. 10:30 to go, first period. Out at center, it's Michael Graham across the blue line. Graham to the top of the circle, and a good block there by the skates of the Edina defenseman. That's number 12, Ben Copeland. Boldenau and Graham along the near side. Graham with a stick handle will backhand it over to Mark Sullivan. Works his way to the slot, then passes it to the right side point. Louis Rail with a shot. That got blocked. Defense blocking a number of shots early on here in this game. One of the reasons why this Hornets team, known more for their offense, averaging 5.5 goals per game, but their defense is very, very good. I think one of the more underrated aspects of this team that sometimes gets overlooked in the media. Argetsinger to play it into the Edina zone. And now here comes Dylan Malmquist, gains the blue line. Drops it for weight. Malmquist gets it back and then throws it in front. It trickles through the crease, but nobody there for Edina. What a neat little play there. And now Middlestad and Eden Prairie will be offsides at the blue line. Coming up during the section playoffs, we'll be tweeting at the section semifinals and section championship should Eden Prairie make it to those games. So do make sure if you're not able to make it, you can still follow us on Twitter for those section playoff games for your Eden Prairie Eagles. And as that one goes up into the crowd, heads up to the fans over there. Hopefully no one down there texting. Great turnout here for a Saturday afternoon. Edina side, I'd say pretty close to 100% capacity. Eden Prairie side, oh, there's still a few empty seats, probably about 80-85%. In fact, I'd venture to say probably a better turnout here for this game at Braemar than the Eden Prairie Edina game that was played at Braemar back on December 23rd, where I think the building was only a little bit more than half full. Although part of that had to do with the fact that I believe it was finals week at both Eden Prairie and Edina. Lieberman swats it in towards the far side boards. He'll hold it in. Lieberman's shot will flutter over the net as it was deflected by the Edina defense. Here is Henry Bowlby. Intercepted by Eden Prairie Safgren. Now Middlestad. Middlestad waiting, throws it in front, looking for Hunter Johannes. He'll draw a penalty. Well-designed play by Eden Prairie, but Johannes gets tripped up and the Eagles go on the power play for the first time tonight. Power play unit's been very good this season. Not quite as hot as it was earlier when they were converting up near 40%, but their current power play percentage is sitting right now at 32.9%. So still a very respectable number. Edina's penalty kill, very good. They're sitting at about 85%. So Bowlby gets the interference penalty as off the draw, gets pushed behind the cage. Middlestad with position. Here is Andy Aguilar. Bo gives up a rare rebound, and now it's cleared away by the Edina defense. Aguilar from behind the net. We'll leave it for Graham as he'll lead the rush. Graham to Middlestad. Middlestad to the circle, now the slot. His shot gets blocked again by the Edina defense. They've had about 4 or 5 blocks here early on in this game. Middlestad gets it back in the corner. Now Graham spinning around along the near side boards. Beats it to Middlestad, up to the point to Aguilar. A one-timer to Mark Sullivan. And that one didn't make it through. Graham playing it back behind the net to Safgren. And that one will be rung around and outside the zone as we get a whistle. With a minute to go on the power play and 7:38 here in the first period. And it looks like the net may have came off its moorings on the Edina side. Second power play unit on the ice for Eden Prairie. Argetsinger, Boldenau, and Nolan Sullivan are the forwards at this power play unit. Shue and Lieberman will be your point men. Important face-off win there by Edina as it's shot into the zone by Paul Meyer. Lieberman from behind the cage. Goes left wing to Shue. They'll try to fling it across, a little too much on it. That will allow Meyer to tie it up in the corner. Now Nolan Sullivan. From behind the net, it's Argetsinger and lost his stick, and that will allow Edina to gain possession and try to get something going. Here's shorthanded. This is Ryan Moon just pushing it into the zone with 25 seconds to go on the power play. Boldenau gets tied up. Now it's Brady Shue, and Argetsinger lost track of it. That will allow Edina to flip it right back in the zone. In the near side corner, it's Nick Lieberman with less than 10 on the power play. Lieberman will just dump it in as Edina is about to go full strength.
Edina full strength. The Hornets are at full strength.
From back behind the net, it's Louis Rail playing it over to Andy Aguilar. Overshot that outlet pass, and now it's Edina trying to take advantage of the turnover, but they didn't turn it over themselves as it's Safgren going the other way for the Eagles. Safgren had it poked away as he's helped out in support by Cole Lawrence. He lost it. Now Edina is able to get it out to neutral. From the left wing side, here comes Henry Bowlby. His shot gets deflected up into the air, almost hit the ceiling here at Braemar. We brought up before, this is one of the lower ceilings you'll have here in a Minnesota rink, but still a great facility to watch hockey, though, with the bowl tile seating. And of course, an historic venue, being one of the first indoor hockey venues in the state of Minnesota. 5:42 to go, first period. Again, Edina up to a 1-0 lead. Shots on goal favor the Hornets 7-2. As according to the official score here at Braemar, Eden Prairie did not muster a shot on that last power play. Hornets from their defensive zone as Mark Sullivan puts pressure on Ben Foley and then slams him into the boards. Edina is able to gain control. It's Ben Copeland passing it over to the left side. Sam Foose takes a shot. That one's turned away by Sean DeRocher. Jousting forward along the near side boards. It gets sent into the corner where Brady Shue will spin around. Shue to Mark Sullivan. Now Graham, as they'll dump it in. Eden Prairie off on another change. Leading the rush for the Hornets is Luke Johnson. I'll turn it over to Eden Prairie as here is Brady Shue across to Louis Rail. Passes for Eden Prairie, just not quite connecting so far in this game. One of the reasons why they have just those 2 shots so far in this game with 4:30 to go in the first period. Now Edina plays it back to the near side corner. I'll turn it over. Here's an opportunity for Argetsinger to the slot and tried to go backdoor to Middlestad, but he couldn't quite get a clean stick on that as it gets deflected up into the netting. One of the better chances so far for Eden Prairie, probably their best of the game, as you can get another look at it there on the replay. If you'd like to email us throughout the broadcast, you can do so. We're announcers at psbmn.com, announcers at psbmn.com. Also click that link just below your game tracker screen. In the corner, they ring it around to number 16, Parker Mismash, and now a 3-on-1 for Edina. Wait, tried to go backdoor to Mismash. It's still loose in front. Edina gets it back again as, oh, that was Dylan Malmquist ready to bury it with a whole number of bodies in front, but the referee's whistle had gone first. Here's the last look at that opportunity for Edina. You'll see just as Malmquist got it from below the circle, the whistle had blown. He had a pretty good opportunity there, did Malmquist and the Edina Hornets. That line of Malmquist, Late, and Mismash, and combining for just about 150 points on the year. One of the higher scoring lines here in Minnesota. Here's Brett Boldenau. His light shot is steered away by Kobe Bowe. Graham with it now from the circle. Graham to the point to Nick Lieberman. Lieberman a shot through traffic, and it goes right into the belly of Kobe Bowe. Well played there by the senior netminder for the Hornets to make the save. Also, if you'd like us to webcast your games, you can contact us here at PSB Media, whether it's high school sports, amateur sports, college sports. We got you covered here at PSB. We can get your games in HD like the one you're seeing today. In fact, it doesn't even have to be a sport. It can be corporate event or maybe a wedding, contact us here at PSB Media. Just find our contact us info on psbmn.com. Less than 3.5 to go in the first period. The Hornets with that 1-0 edge as Eden Prairie is able to clear it away to the blue line. Edina passes that across towards the left side. Now played back to Sam Foose. Now from the left wing side. Working his way around to check his Bowlby. In the corner, it's Graham with the puck. 3 games. This is the third matchup between these teams. Oh, that takes a nasty deflection. Bowlby nearly redirected that in the net. That was almost a 90-degree turn on that shot. You see the replay. If that had been targeted towards the net, I'm not sure anyone could have stopped that. Take a look at that redirection there on the replay. Off the draw, it's won by the Hornets. Meyer at the point. Pad save made by Sean DeRocher. Lawrence finds Hunter Johannes. Now Aguilar gets sandwiched off the puck. There's a collision now loose in front. Johannes trying to glove it down to his stick. Couldn't do it in time before the Edina defense converges on him. And now the referee's whistle goes as it looks like the helmet came off on Sam Foose as they'll head over to the bench. Of course, here in high school hockey, anytime you lose your helmet, that whistle will automatically blow. Here's one more look at that sequence from just a moment ago. A decent looking scoring chance as that kind of took a lucky bounce to Hunter Johannes, but he couldn't quite glove it down in time to try to create an opportunity. Comes Edina into the Eden Prairie zone. Lieberman throwing his weight around and checking Parker mismatch. And now mismatch, as he's done so often this year, kind of a pest on the ice. He draws a penalty against Nick Lieberman. Lieberman's stick kind of got caught up in the body of mismatch. Mismatch, the leading penalty minute guy for Edina, but I'm sure he also leads the team in terms of drawn penalties. Just one of those guys that you love to have on your team, but you also hate to play against. So he'll put the Hornets on the power play.
Number 4, Nick Lieberman, 2 minutes for holding. Lieberman holding, it's a 2-minute minor. Time of the penalty, 14:46. Time of the penalty, 14:44.
So Edina's Hornets will go on the power play for the first time this evening. Give you some power play numbers on them in just a moment. Power play converting at 25%. Held in by number 3, Ben Foley. Foley to Malmquist, top of the circle. Now passes it down low and now into the corner. Malmquist with control. Finds Waite. And then they'll lose it as it goes outside the zone. Eden Prairie's penalty kill been good this season. Their PK actually improved now to 82.4%. Most of the season it's been kind of hanging around in that upper 70s range, but it's improved over the past few games as part of this 4-game winning streak, getting the PK up above 80%. Now Garrett Waite from the circle. To Ben Foley. Through traffic, and Sean DeRocher is able to make that save with a minute to go on the power play. Very important today for that penalty kill unit, which has been good recently, to keep it going, because Edina likely to get at least 3 or 4 power play opportunities here in tonight's game, and certainly don't want to let them convert with the man advantage. They're tough enough to stop even when it's even strength. Oh, letting Garrett Waite walk towards the slot. DeRocher makes a good save. That's one of the last guys in the world you want to give that much space to. Here's Foley. Now Malmquist from the near side. Malmquist to Sam Foose. And into the corner, it's Malmquist. And another penalty's coming up. There's a hard hit into the boards, and Edina, I think, is going to go 5-on-3, as they're going to get Mark Sullivan, who is the leading penalty minute guy for Eden Prairie. now a golden opportunity here for Edina to try to create some space here in this game. Already up 1-0, and now they'll have about a half minute of 5-on-3 time to work with.
For interference, it's a 2-minute minor. Time of the penalty, 16-14. Time of the penalty,
and off the draw, an important hold in by Ben Foley as Eden Prairie wasn't able to clear it away. Foley through traffic takes a shot, and Sean DeRocher there to make a save with 19 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Face-off's very important here in these situations. Looks like Eden Prairie will send in Nolan Sullivan to take this draw. And off the draw, the Hornets do win it as it's Foose at the point. Malmquist, Foley. Foley from the high slot. They go back to Foose, one touch to Foley. Now they find Malmquist. Oh, he fanned on the one-timer. 4 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Edina still with control. Here's Malmquist. Across to Sam Foose, and that one gets cleared up into the netting as it's now a 5-on-4 power play for Edina. They'll have a minute 28 of power play time to work with. Oh, an important 5-on-3 kill there for Eden Prairie. And better yet for them, referee says that shot was not deflected into the netting, so it'll be a face-off outside the zone with 13 seconds to go in the period. Edina trying to create a last-second opportunity. It's Malmquist, and that one gets shot up into the netting with 4 seconds left and a minute 20 on the Hornet power play. Thus far, the PK coming up big here for Eden Prairie to keep this a one-goal game. Another important face-off here. And an important face-off win for Eden Prairie, as that will be the end of the first period as the Hornets have a 1-0 lead. They'll take a timeout and have the first period analysis on the way in just a couple of minutes. This is Lake Conference Hockey here on PSB Media.
Great food and great sports. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5 in Eden Prairie. This season, the Tavern on 4 and 5 will be showing PSB broadcasts of Eden Prairie football and hockey on their big screen TVs. So make it a night out. Get some great food while watching your Eden Prairie Eagles at the Tavern on 4 and 5. Some of their classics include the Mediterranean Pizza, Tavern Turkey Burger, as well as delicious breakfasts that are served 7 days a week. That's the Tavern on 4 and 5, just blocks from Eden Prairie High School.
I wish it was spring.
Hello, Carl.
Whoa, who are you?
I'm the Mulch Store Genie.
Well, your entrance music makes you sound like an alien.
We Mulch Store Genies survive on grass and compost, not snow and ice.
If you're a genie, where's your lamp?
Mulch Store Genies live... Never mind you. Let's get to the point. You had a wish for me, Carl.
Yeah, I wished it would be spring.
Your wish is my command.
Sweet, this is much better. Wow, my lawn looks great too.
Indeed, Carl. That's the power of the Mulch Store Genius.
Thanks.
Tell your friends of my mulching powers.
The Mulch Store, granting beautiful lawn and landscaping wishes since 2000. Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
I really loved this book. Me too. What was your favorite part? The beginning? The beginning was good. Did anyone actually read the book?
I really like this wine.
You don't need a book club to drink wine with friends. Great wine and globally inspired food at Noodles & Company, your world kitchen.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
Hey, look, it's the State Farm guy.
Yeah, and he's discount double checking.
Oh, Hans and Franz?
Surprise.
Well, here's another surprise for you. Muzzle. Hear me now and believe me later. You pumped up our wallets with the discount double checking, so we want to repay the favor and pump you up.
Sorry, what?
Pull us, you flabby loser!
You'll thank us later.
That's right. Double check your diet.
Yeah. Roll your boat.
Gently down the loser stream.
That's what I'm talking about.
Doesn't this hurt?
Not with those puny arms.
You don't just lift dumbbells, you drink them. Now, come on.
That's right. Feel it.
Hello, muscles.
The whole thing?
Yeah, when you're finished, you can eat this up too. Congratulations, Aaron.
You earned the suit. It's a start.
Yeah, not bad.
Really?
Pump up your savings with a discount double check.
Nice block, Aaron.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbeer's State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie, a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbeer.com. Great food and great sports. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5 in Eden Prairie. This season, the Tavern on 4 and 5 will be showing several PSB broadcasts of Eden Prairie boys hockey on the big screen TVs. So make it a night out. Get some great food and watch the EP boys hockey team at the Tavern on 4 and 5. Some of their classics include the Mediterranean pizza, the Tavern turkey burger, and my personal favorite, the cheesy tater tots. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5, located just blocks from Eden Prairie High School.
During this break in the action, I'd like to thank you for watching and ask for your assistance. In addition to live streaming games like this one, PSB Media also produces video commercials for clients. If someone you know is trying to grow their business, tell them to consider contacting production at psbmn.com. The internet is a powerful marketing tool, but due to its size, it can be difficult for messages to reach the right ears. Optimize their valuable time and money. PSB Video will help drive localized traffic to the client's website. Using keyword-driven content, PSB Video can improve where businesses appear in search results. Nearer to the top results means more clicks and more business. So please, tell those business owners you know to work smarter, not harder, by considering PSB Production. Find out more by emailing production at psbmn.com.
Welcome back to Braemar Ice Arena as we're at the end of the first period with Edina leading Eden Prairie 1-0 as that big first line strikes again for these Hornets just 27 seconds into the hockey game. It was Dylan Malmquist able to score his 25th goal of the season to give him 64 points. Parker Mismash picked up the assist as that's where we stand with this 1-0 Hornet lead. Looking at special teams numbers, Eden Prairie's power play is 0 for 1. Edina also sitting at 0 for 1, although they're in the midst of their second power play for another minute 15. Big story, though, in that first period was Edina failing to score with about a half minute of 5-on-3 time to work with. It's a very important kill for Eden Prairie to keep this a 1-0 lead. And looking at shots on goal, Hornets with a very heavy 14-4 edge in that department. So that's currently where we stand with this 1-0 Edina lead. We'll take a timeout and have the second period on the way in just a couple of minutes. This is Lake Conference Hockey right here on PSB Media.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
Pillow of the ear.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbeer's State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie, a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbeer.com. Great food and great sports. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5 in Eden Prairie. This season, the Tavern on 4 and 5 will be showing PSB broadcasts of Eden Prairie football and hockey on their big screen TVs. So make it a night out. Get some great food while watching your Eden Prairie Eagles at the Tavern on 4 and 5. Some of their classics include the Mediterranean Pizza, Tavern Turkey Burger, as well as delicious breakfasts that are served 7 days a week. That's the Tavern on 4 and 5, just blocks from Eden Prairie High School.
Woohoo! This is the best dirt bath ever! Larry, what's with all that racket? I'm loving my new digs. This compost is amazing. Come on in, give it a try. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you weren't kidding, Larry. This stuff is great.
The mulch store has compost your garden, and yes, even the worms will love. Stop by any of the mulch store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee to pick up the best compost in the Midwest. Online at mulchstoremn.com. Also shop rocks, seed, soil, edging, and more. Now's the time to make your neighbors green with envy.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
State Farm National Bureau of Assists agent Don Stockton has dished out more assists than anyone in history, just like his twin brother, NBA legend John Stockton. Heat, Rockets, Bucks, Pistons. Whatever you toss his way, he's beaten them all.
Don't worry, we got you covered. Thanks, Don.
The best assist is born from experience.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbier State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie, a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbier.com.
During this break in the action, I'd like to thank you for watching and ask for your assistance. In addition to live streaming games like this one, PSB Media also produces video commercials for clients. If someone you know is trying to grow their business, tell them to consider contacting production at psbmn.com. The internet is a powerful marketing tool, but due to its size, it can be difficult for messages to reach the right ears. Optimize their valuable time and money. PSB Video will help drive localized traffic to the client's website. Using keyword-driven content, PSB Video can improve where businesses appear in search results. Nearer to the top results means more clicks and more business. So please tell those business owners you know to work smarter, not harder, by considering PSB Production. Find out more by emailing production@psbmn.com.
Stay current on what's going on in your local community. The Sun Current is a local community newspaper that serves several communities in the Southwest Metro, including Eden Prairie, Edina, and Bloomington. The Sun Current will keep you up to date with the latest comings and goings on your school board, city council, arts and entertainment, and community events. And make sure you check out their in-depth high school sports coverage featuring weekly articles on Eden Prairie, Edina, Jefferson, and Kennedy. From football and hockey to tennis and swimming, the Sun Current has your favorite team covered. Keep it local and visit the Sun Current website at current.mnsun.com.
And we're back at Prairie, getting ready for the start of the second period here on PSB. Hornets out to a 1-0 lead against Eden Prairie with Dylan Malmquist scoring just 27 seconds into the hockey game. Give Edina that lead, and that's currently where we stand. Hornets do hold that big 14-4 edge in terms of shots on goal. I would say, though, in terms of puck possession, it's probably closer to 55-45 or maybe 60-40 in favor of Edina. Just the problem for Eden Prairie is that they've had some trouble connecting on some of their passes, and that's the reason why their shots on goal is currently sit at 4 thus far in this game. We'll see if they can get their passes connecting here in this second period. Well, the key for Edina will be to get that power play unit going, which failed to score when they had about a half minute of 5-on-3 power play time to work with. They will have about a minute 13 of power play time to work with to start things off here in the second period. We'll see if the Hornets are able to take advantage of that opportunity. In their PP unit, currently sitting at 25%. Eden Prairie's penalty kill, a little over 83% on the season. And we're ready to go here from Braemar as the Hornets will control the puck to start here the second period. As it's Sam Foose feeding it to Dylan Malmquist. He'll gain the blue line. Malmquist will ring it around. It'll be picked up by Parker Mismash. Mismash and Wade in close quarters. Now pass it down low to Malmquist. Now along the rail, it's Waite up to Foley. Foley walking it at the blue line. Passes it to Waite. Now they give it back to Foley. One-timer to Garrett Waite, and his slap shot blast will sail over the net. Edina still with control as it's Malmquist from the corner. Malmquist, Waite from the far side boards. Foley at the point. Foley waiting. Now in the circle he finds Foose. Foose walking it towards the point. Now they try a one-timer again to Waite. DeRocher gives up a rebound, but Edina not there to hit it home with 20 seconds to go on the power play. Mismash. Foose. Back to Mismash at the top of the circle. Trying to go high, stick side on DeRocher. That one sailed wide. Now Foose back at the point. Less than 10 on the power play. There's another shot. DeRocher makes a save. Now loose in front. As gaining control is number 3 Ben Foley for Edina. Now Malmquist. Edina still putting on the pressure. Now an opening for Dylan Malmquist. DeRocher kind of with an excuse me save there. Reached his glove out. The puck went in, and then he dropped it right away. Not quite ready to make that save, but still made it nonetheless. Here's a look at the replay. Kind of one of those things. Oh, there's the puck right in my glove. And some space created there for Dylan Malmquist and the Edina Hornets. Back to live action now with 15:23 to go, second period. Hornets still continue to put on the pressure. As it's Casey Dornbach from the end boards. Dornbach on his backhand will feed it up to the point to Phillips. Now out in front to Rocher. Covers it up to make the save. Edina has already clinched the Lake Conference Championship. They're 7-0 in league play. Eden Prairie trying to get second place in the Lake. They have a 4-3 record in the league play. In fact, Edina has not lost a Lake Conference game since the 2012-2013 season. And the last team to beat Edina here in Lake Conference play, that would be Eden Prairie. Back in the season finale of the 2012-13 season, it was a 3-1 victory for the Eagles right here at Braemar back in February of 2013. Now it's the Hornets from the left wing side. Here comes Henry Boldy. Gets stood up, and now they'll send it across to Michael Graham. Graham had it poked away by Matt Masterman. Graham gets it back, now finds Mark Sullivan. His shot gets blocked, and now Bolby takes over. From the end wall, it's Edina's Paul Meyer. Sending it around, and it will trickle outside the zone, where Lieberman will have to wait for his teammates to reset. He'll flip it into the zone, or it'll be chased down by Edina. Bringing it around across to Matt Masterman. Now Eden Prairie trying to get the attack started again. And this is one of the areas where Edina's kind of underrated with their team. You just see how solid of an offensive team they are. As Eden Prairie's had some puck possession for the last minute or two, but they've not been able to register a shot on goal. Just a very defensive sound team are these Hornets, and they're great at blocking shots. cleared away by Edina, and that one will just trickle to the side of the net for an icing call. Hornets on that 12-game winning streak, and certainly showing why they're one of the favorites for the state championship. A lot of people feel it's pretty much a two-team race for the state championship this year with Edina and Lakeville North. Of course, Lakeville North trying to complete an undefeated season. They actually beat Edina very early in the season. I think it was an early December game, so quite some time ago, but the way those two teams are playing, they certainly look like they might be on a collision course for the state championship. Here's Cole Lawrence trying to create an opportunity. Lawrence nearly sneaks that in the net as Kobe Bowe not quite ready for that shot. He almost stuck between the pad and the goaltender, or the goaltender and the goalpost, I should say. There's a look at that opportunity for Lawrence. Kind of a sneaky little shot there for the Eden Prairie Junior. Off the draw, they'll get it back to Brady Shue, and again, it's blocked by Edina. Garrett Waite lost it to Brady Shue. And Shue playing good hockey with 7 of his last 8 games, registering points for the senior captain defenseman. And Casey Middlestad picks the pocket of the Edina player, and he goes the other way. Middlestad can't dangle around Sam Foose. He gets it back. Middlestad at the point. Over to Nolan Sullivan. Actually check that, it was Shue. And Edina is able to clear it down into the Eden Prairie end. Now Middlestad, Shue, to Argetsinger. Riley Argetsinger with 2 goals and 2 assists against Hopkins in Eden Prairie's game back on Thursday. That 7-5 victory for the Eagles over the Royals. Deflected towards the bench, Mark Sullivan will pass that across to Aguilar. Aguilar gains the blue line and will dump it in, chase down his own puck. Now here's a blast from Mark Sullivan that travels over the net. From the end wall, it's Michael Graham. He gets tied up by the Edina defense. Michael Graham been very quiet here in these Edina games. In 7+ periods here against the Hornets, Edina's been able to hold Eden Prairie's highest scoring Minnesota Duluth recruit to just 1 goal. And we do have an Edina power play coming up, as it looks like Sullivan is going to make another trip to the penalty box. So another power play chance for Edina. But so far that penalty kill unit's been very good for Eden Prairie, and they'll have to kind of stand on their head again.
A minor penalty has been assessed to Eden Prairie's number 20, Mark Sullivan, 2 minutes for slash.
And off the draw, Casey Middlestad is able to clear the puck down. An important face-off win there for Eden Prairie.
5:20.
Edina finds Dornbach. Second power play unit on the ice for the Hornets, and that one's cleared away by Eden Prairie. Slowed down by Kobe Bowe behind the net. As Edina having some trouble getting this power play going. Here's Malmquist across the blue line. That top power play unit now on the ice. Malmquist, oh, great pass as they score, as finding that puck was number 21, Henry Bowlby. What a pretty goal there for Edina, and they lead 2-0. Wow, look at the passing. Malmquist with a great find to Foley. Right out in front, and it's 2-0 Edina. You can see how electrifying those big 3 forwards are for Edina. Foley, Malmquist, mismatch. In fact, even throw Garrett Waite in there. Either way, it's a very tough team to stop, as Edina is now up 2-0. So for Henry Bowlby, that's his 7th goal on the season to give him 23 points on the year. Now Middlestad trying to help Eden Prairie respond. Throws it out in front, but nobody home.
And the second assist to number 3, Ben Foley. A power play goal for the Hornets. Bowlby from Malmquist and Foley. Time of the goal, 6 minutes even of the second period. Time of the goal.
Now Brady's shoe gets hip checked off the puck, and he'll draw a penalty as Edina will go on the power play. Big collision there, so we'll see if that gives Eden Prairie a chance to respond. Here's a look at that hit from just a moment ago. That won't feel good on the knee tomorrow morning, I'm guessing. So second power play tonight for Eden Prairie. They're 0 for 1. And important for them to try to get a response here, down by 2 goals against an Edina team which is very solid defensively, and of course they also have a good netminder in Kobe Bowe. Face-off is won by Eden Prairie. Here's Middlestad.
2 minutes for tripping.
Aguilar had his pocket picked, and now watch out for Edina as Malmquist gets tackled by Aguilar, and he'll draw a penalty as we'll go 4 on 4. Malmquist kind of sneakily tried to pick the pocket there of Andy Aguilar, and he's able to draw the penalty as those two kind of got caught up, and normally in that situation the defensive player gets the penalty, and that was the case, so it'll now be 4 on 4 for 1:46. Yeah, it should create some fun hockey here as both teams have some of their stars on the ice. Eden Prairie with Middlestad and Graham, Edina with Malmquist, Waite, among others. So with the open ice here, 4 on 4, and some skilled players. Could see quite a show put on here for the next minute or so. Here's Middlestad along the right wing side. Middlestad trying to dangle around Ben Foley. Now passes it to Lieberman. Back down low to Middlestad. Puck jumped over a stick, and now Edina gains possession. Lieberman will backhand it into the zone. Foley sends it across the right side to Malmquist. Now up ahead to Waite. And Waite tried a little give and go there with Malmquist, but a little too much on that pass as it will slide into the glove of Sean DeRocher. Minute 10 of 4 on 4 time before the Edina Hornets would go on a 14-second power play. Edina electing to go with their 2 forwards of Casey Dornbach and Parker Mismash. And Mismash, a guy who doesn't win a lot of face-offs, actually had a decent win there for Edina. Now it's Michael Graham banking it outside the zone. Here's Paul Meyer for the Hornets. He'll dump it in where it's slowed down by Sean DeRocher. Now Brady Shue leaves it for Nick Lieberman. Lieberman weaves his way through center ice, now gains the blue line. Leaves it for Graham, then drops it for Middlestad. Middlestad, a spinorama in the corner. Now feeds it across to Lieberman. Walks his way to the top of the circle, trying to go pick that corner, but Kobe Bowe makes the save. And it will be icing against Edina with 21 seconds to go here on the 4 on 4 power play. The Mulch Store is a key community resource for landscaping products and landscaping materials. Only about a month or 2 away from springtime, and not too early to start making those landscaping plans. The Mulch Store with the best compost you'll find in the entire Midwest. Also pick up some of their mulching materials. Find more information, mulchstoremn.com, mulchstoremn.com. Locations all over the metro available, and mulchstoremn.com. They can also do delivery as well. Edina will go on a 14-second power play. As the puck slides into the zone, and Edina will actually get called for an icing, kind of inadvertently, with 9 seconds to go on their man advantage. Section playoffs again start up on Thursday with Section 2 and Section 6. The Hornets a part of Section 2, Eden Prairie in Section 6, but both these squads here on the ice will more than likely get a first-round bye, being the #1 seed in their respective sections, so they would not be playing until next Saturday. But the quarterfinals, for at least some of the teams in Section 2 and 6, will begin coming up on Thursday. Eden Prairie is now full strength, as you heard the PA announcer say. Now Edina trying to find Malmquist out in front, streaking into the zone. It's Garrett Waite from the corner. Now Parker mismatch, tried to throw it in front, nobody home. Waite gets it back from the top of the circle, and that one clinged off the outside of the goalpost. And Middlestad trying to create an opportunity. Finds his way around Foose, takes a shot, now a rebound given up. Still loose, and 3 opportunities for Eden Prairie, and they can't convert. Out of sequence there. Middlestad dangling around the Edina defense. Then they had a couple of swats at some rebound opportunities. You'll see the move there by Middlestad. Then Nolan Sullivan had a good look at the rebound, but they couldn't hit it home. One more look there at that last scoring chance for Eden Prairie. Easily their best opportunity of the night this far. And off the draw, here comes Edina into the zone. It's Bolby who has the second goal on the night for Edina. Shoot it outside the zone. DeRocher will elect to hold on to that puck for a face-off in the Eden Prairie defensive zone. Twitter handle is at PSBMN if you'd like to follow and get the latest on Eden Prairie and Bloomington athletics and the Southwest Metro in general. Tweeting about Lake Conference hockey all season long, and we'll also start following basketball a little bit more as we have some basketball broadcasts coming up this week, including Eden Prairie and Edina boys squaring off, I believe, coming up on Tuesday here on PSB. I'd like to catch that Eden Prairie Edina boys basketball game. It'll be coming up on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Those two teams both having good years on the hardwood. Brady Shue rings it around to Hunter Johannes. Now Shue from behind the cage. Edina holding a big 23-9 shots on goal advantage so far in this game. Cole Lawrence, one touches it to Tyler Safgren. And now he gets checked off the puck as Edina will gain control. Into the zone is Ryan Moon. He got stood up as now it's Tyler Safgren. Off the half wall and outside the zone. Here's Boldenau across the blue line. Boldenau to the top of the circle, fans on his wrist shot. Now we'll just backhand it towards the corner. Getting hit into the boards is Mark Sullivan. Sullivan from the end wall is jousting with him is Paul Meyer for the puck. Still tied up in the skates. Here's Graham with it. Now into the corner it goes again. Well, some hitting there along the end wall. And now the referee will blow it dead. We're having a good Valentine's Day here on this Saturday. May be a day of love, but there's certainly no love lost between these two squads. They know each other very well from not only their high school days, but I'm sure during their youth years as well. These teams very familiar with each other. Friends off the ice, but definitely not friends once they get on the ice. Always a big rivalry between these two squads. There's a save made by Kobe Bowe. Gave up a rebound, but Boldenau couldn't get a stick on it. Now loose in front. Boldenau with a second opportunity. Eden Prairie still with control. Good shift being put on here by this unit for Eden Prairie. Now Edina trying to get a counter attack going. Boldenau and the rest of the defense helps fight that away, as now Boldenau will skate across the blue line, then gets slammed into the near side boards. 5:10 here in the second period. 2-0 Edina with the lead over the Eden Prairie Eagles as they'll play it back to Brady Shue. In his own zone, it's Ben Foley for Edina. Able to find Dylan Malmquist, who's been a dangerous guy tonight with that goal and also an assist. And Middlestad. Oh, what a pass by Middlestad looking for Nolan Sullivan. Don't know how he was able to get that off from that odd angle. Good opportunity there for Eden Prairie, and it looks like they're actually going to draw a penalty, as I do believe Eden Prairie will get the power play. So third power play opportunity for the Eagles. Their last man advantage chance was cut short when they picked up a penalty of their own. And off the draw, Edina gets an important face-off win as they ring it around the end wall and outside the zone.
Partner mismatch, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Mismatch for cross-checking. It's a 2-minute minor. Time of the penalty, 12:23.
There's Riley Argetsinger dumping it into the zone. Boldenau from the corner. Held out by Nolan Sullivan. Boldenau with possession. As they're playing with it along the near side boards, as now they feed it up to the point to Nick Lieberman. His shot got blocked and cleared away to out of danger's way by Edina. 3:50 here in the second period and 1:10 on the EP power play. Lieberman into the zone. Lieberman still with control and tried to center it, but got bobbled up by the Edina defense. Now from the corner, Safgren and Middlestad. Middlestad will come away with it. Now backhanded to Graham. At the point, it's Aguilar. There's Mark Sullivan. Oh, trying to find that low glove side, but Kobe Bowe gets there in time to make the save. You see, they had Sullivan open there on that weak side, but couldn't quite pull that trigger in time. And off the draw, it's in the corner, Middlestad. The point to Sullivan. Now Aguilar, half minute on the power play. And now that one gets deflected outside the zone as a couple of players collide. It's Casey Middlestad across the blue line. Now Mark Sullivan to the high slot. His shot gets deflected away. Now from an odd angle, Safran just threw it on net. But again, Bowe makes the save as Edina is full strength.
The Hornets are at full strength.
0 for 3 for that power play unit for the Eden Prairie Eagles. Their PK's been good over these last few games, but the power play numbers starting to drop just a little bit. Now they try to find Dornbach in front, but that pass just a little bit too far in front of him. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the second period with the Hornets out in front 2-0. Bolby, who scored that second goal, is tied up by an Eden Prairie player now. And Mark Sullivan leaving it for a teammate on the left wing side, Casey Middlestad. Now Graham also helping out along that far side. Shue at center ice will just swat it back into the zone where it's slowed down by Kobe Bowe. Shue broke up that pass. And now it's Edina back out at neutral. Dornbach leaves it for Bolby to the circle. Now centered back out in front, but the Prairie defense with good coverage. Here's Hugh Trumpy. 1 goal and 1 assist for Trumpy on the season. Start of the year on the primarily playing on the JV squad. Approaching the 1 minute mark in period number 2. Here's Edina passing it to the left wing side to Bowlby, as he'll just push it into the zone as Edina is off on a change. Lieberman turns it over to the dangerous Malmquist. Now Wait with the puck, trying to pick a corner, but turned away. Foose to hold it in. And now Hastings and Brady Shue will dump it into the Edina zone. 32 seconds in the second period. Oh, fancy move there by Mismash. Takes a slap shot, and DeRocher makes the save and then kind of turns his head, making sure he had hung on to that puck. Noodles & Company now offers catering at all of their locations, so if you have some kind of party coming up, or whether work or a family event, consider using Noodles & Company. They're your world kitchen with all sorts of delicious dishes over at Noodles & Company, whether it's the Wisconsin mac and cheese or maybe a Thai dish. They have all sorts of great options at Noodles & Company. Find a link to their catering page just above your Game Tracker screen. 10 seconds to go in the second period. It's Louis Rail at the point with 6 seconds through some traffic. That one got deflected into the corner. Now out in front, Argetsinger couldn't receive the pass cleanly, and that's going to do it for the second period as Edina out on top of Eden Prairie. 2-0 here from Braemar. We'll take a timeout and have some second period analysis on the way in just a couple of minutes. This is high school hockey right here on PSP Media.
Guaranteed. You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids. Breathe.
Pillow bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbier's State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie. A local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbier.com. Great food and great sports. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5 in Eden Prairie. This season, the Tavern on 4 and 5 will be showing PSB broadcasts of Eden Prairie football and hockey on their big screen TVs. So make it a night out. Get some great food while watching your Eden Prairie Eagles at the Tavern on 4 and 5. Some of their classics include the Mediterranean Pizza, Tavern Turkey Burger, as well as delicious breakfasts that are served 7 days a week. That's the Tavern on 4 and 5, just blocks from Eden Prairie High School.
Woohoo! This is the best dead bath ever!
Larry, what's with all that racket?
I'm loving my new digs. This compost is amazing. Come on in, give it a try.
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you weren't kidding, Larry. This stuff is great.
The mulch store has compost your garden, and yes, even the worms will love. Stop by any of the mulch store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee to pick up the best compost in the Midwest. Online at mulchstoremn.com. Also shop rocks, seed, soil, edging, and more. Now's the time to make your neighbors green with envy.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
State Farm National Bureau of Assists agent Don Stockton has dished out more assists than anyone in history, just like his twin brother, NBA legend John Stockton. Heat, Rockets, Bucks, Pistons. Whatever you toss his way, he's beaten them all.
Don't worry, we got you covered. Thanks, Don.
The best assist is born from experience.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbier State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie, a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbier.com.
During this break in the action, I'd like to thank you for watching and ask for your assistance. In addition to live streaming games like this one, PSB Media also produces video commercials for clients. If someone you know is trying to grow their business, tell them to consider contacting production at psbmn.com. The internet is a powerful marketing tool, but due to its size, it can be difficult for messages to reach the right ears. Optimize their valuable time and money. PSB Video
community events. And make sure you check out their in-depth high school sports coverage featuring weekly articles on Eden Prairie, Edina, Jefferson, and Kennedy. From football and hockey to tennis and swimming, the Sun Current has your favorite team covered. Keep it local and visit the Sun Current website at current.mnsun.com.
And welcome back to Braemar Ice Arena. End of the second period. Hornets out in front of Eden Prairie by a 2-0 score right here on PSB Media. Let's give you a scoring recap of the game thus far. Edina scored just 27 seconds into the game on a Dylan Malmquist goal after a great pass from Parker Mismash. For Dylan Malmquist, that was his 25th goal of the season. Edina then struck again at the 11-minute mark of the second period. It was a power play goal by Henry Bowlby. That was his 7th goal on the season. Malmquist picked up his second point on a great pass to give him a goal and assist on the night. Ben Foley also picked up an assist for Edina. Power play numbers, Edina 1 for 3, Eden Prairie sitting at 0 for 3. And looking at shots on goal for the period, Edina held a 9-8 advantage. And for shots on goal on the game, Edina leads in that department 25-13. Let's go ahead and see if we can find some out-of-town scores here on this final day of regular season high school hockey here in Minnesota before we get to the section playoffs. Coming up next week, I believe some of the Class A sections may have already started their playoffs, since there's a few more teams in 1A than there is in 2A. But we'll mainly focus here on 2A thus far, and let's start off with Minnetonka and Duluth East. And that game ended in a 4-4 tie from the Heritage Sports Center in Duluth. Another game went final. Hill Murray knocked off Moorhead by a 2-1 score. That could possibly be a state tournament preview. Hill Murray among the favorites in Section 4AA along with White Bear Lake. While Moorhead one of the favorites in 8AA along with Bemidji. Other scores that have gone final, just one, as it was Armstrong Cooper beating North St. Paul by a 5-4 score. The rest of the results that I have are still in progress. Start off with Egan and Lakeville South. The Wildcats lead Lakeville South 2-0. Prior Lake is on top of Rosemount 5-0 at the start of the third period in that game. Benilde St. Margaret's in a battle with St. Louis Park. And the Red Knights out to a comfortable 6-0 lead with about 15 minutes to go in the third period in that game. And Lakeville North looks like they will complete an undefeated season as they have a 3-0 lead on Shakopee in the final few minutes of the second period in that game. So barring a big Shakopee rally, it looks like North will finish the season undefeated I believe they would be the first team to have undefeated regular season in Class 2A since I think Roseau did it a few years ago, but they eventually lost in the state tournament. I believe that was back in like 2007. That's a look at all the out-of-town scores in Class 2A. We'll see if we can find any small school scores in 1A that are of note. And the only one we have is Duluth Marshall and St. Cloud Cathedral, two teams that are among the favorites to go to state in Class 1A, and they're currently in a 1-1 tie at the end of the second period in that game. And that's a look at all the out-of-town scores that we have for you so far, courtesy of the Hockey Hub. I'd like to remind you one more time that we unfortunately will not be streaming any playoff games this season, but we will be providing Twitter updates of the 6AA semifinals and championship. We'll also tweet updates about the 2AA championship as well. We're still working on maybe being able to show live video of the Section 2 and Section 6 championships. That's still kind of a work in progress to get everything straightened out with the current rights holders to those games. Basically the way it works out is that another company has exclusive video rights of all postseason games for the Minnesota State High School League. So we're trying to work with them to see if we can bring you some coverage of 2AA and 6AA. So stay tuned on that. You can follow us on Twitter at PSBMN. We'll also have it posted on our website as well. But as of now, not planning on streaming any playoff games, but we will provide Twitter updates for 2AA and also 6AA. We'll go ahead and take one final timeout, then have the third period on the way in just a couple of minutes. Edina out in front of Eden Prairie, 2-0 here on PSB Media.
Great food and great sports. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5 in Eden Prairie. This season, the Tavern on 4 and 5 will be showing PSB broadcasts of Eden Prairie football and hockey on their big screen TVs. So make it a night out. Get some great food while watching your Eden Prairie Eagles at the Tavern on 4 and 5. Some of their classics include the Mediterranean Pizza, Tavern Turkey Burger, as well as delicious breakfasts that are served 7 days a week. That's the Tavern on 4 and 5, just blocks from Eden Prairie High School.
I wish it was spring.
Hello, Carl.
Whoa, who are you?
I'm the Mulch Store Genie.
Well, your entrance music makes you sound like an alien.
We Mulch Store Genies survive on grass and compost, not snow and ice.
If you're a genie, where's your lamp?
Mulch Store Genies live... Never mind you. Let's get to the point. You had a wish for me, Carl.
Yeah, I wished it would be spring.
Your wish is my command.
Sweet! This is much better. Wow, my lawn looks great too.
Indeed, Carl. That's the power of the Mulch Store Genius.
Thanks.
Tell your friends of my mulching powers.
The Mulch Store, granting beautiful lawn and landscaping wishes since 2000. Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
I really loved this book. Me too. What was your favorite part? The beginning?
The beginning was good.
Did anyone actually read the book?
I really like this wine.
You don't need a book club to drink wine with friends. Great wine and globally inspired food at Noodles & Company, your world kitchen.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
Hey, look, it's the State Farm guy.
Yeah, and he's discount double checking.
Oh, Hans and Franz?
Surprise.
Well, here's another surprise for you. Muzzle. Hear me now and believe me later. You pumped up our wallets with the discount double checking, so we want to repay the favor and palm you up.
Sorry, what?
Pull us, you flabby loser!
You'll thank us later.
That's right. Double check your diet.
Yeah. Roll your boat.
Gently down the loser stream.
That's what I'm talking about.
Doesn't this hurt?
Not with those puny arms.
You don't just lift dumbbells, you drink them. No, come on.
That's right. Feel it.
Hello, muscles.
The whole thing?
Yeah, when you're finished, you can eat this up too. Congratulations, Aaron.
You earned the suit. It's a start.
Yeah, not bad.
Really?
Pump up your savings with a discount double check.
Nice block, Adam.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbier State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie. A local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbier.com. Great food and great sports. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5 in Eden Prairie. This season, the Tavern on 4 and 5 will be showing several PSB broadcasts of Eden Prairie boys hockey on the big screen TVs. So make it a night out. Get some great food and watch the EP boys hockey team at the Tavern on 4 and 5. Some of their classics include the Mediterranean pizza, the Tavern turkey burger, and my personal favorite, the cheesy tater tots. It's the Tavern on 4 and 5, located just blocks from Eden Prairie High School.
During this break in the action, I'd like to thank you for watching and ask for your assistance. In addition to live streaming games like this one, PSB Media also produces video commercials for clients. If someone you know is trying to grow their business, tell them to consider contacting production at psbmn.com. The internet is a powerful marketing tool, but due to its size, it can be difficult for messages to reach the right ears. Optimize their valuable time and money. PSB Video will help drive localized traffic to the client's website. Using keyword-driven content, PSB Video can improve where businesses appear in search results. Nearer to the top results means more clicks and more business. So please, tell those business owners you know to work smarter, not harder, by considering PSB Production. Find out more by emailing production@psbmn.com.
Welcome back to Braemar as we're getting ready to start the third period between the Hornets and the Eagles as Edina into a 2-0 lead, trying to cap a very good season. They would have just one loss on the regular season should they hang on and beat Eden Prairie. Eagles, on the other hand, trying to extend that 4-game winning streak to 5. They've been one of the hotter teams here in Minnesota down the stretch. This is Ben Foley out at center ice. Now works his way to the left wing side. Avoids a check from Louis Rail. Now tried to center it, but Eden Prairie all over that. Louis Rail tied up in the corner. Eden Prairie fans want to hold. They don't get it. Now it's Aguilar. Up ahead to Mark Sullivan. Now it's Bolden out of the top of the circle. Lost his stick handle as it trickles into the corner. Michael Graham from the end boards. Graham trying to dig it out. Edina gets it instead as Garrett Waite will backhand it into the zone where it's picked up by Hunter Johannes. That's Mark Sullivan dumping it in. Here's Masterman along the right wing side. That's stood up by Nick Lieberman. Now in support it's Nolan Sullivan. And a pad save is made by the goaltender Kobe Bowe. And it looks like we have an Eden Prairie power play coming up, their fourth of the game as they try to cut into this 2-0 deficit. Tavern on 4 and 5 brings coverage of Eden Prairie hockey as they've been shown several broadcasts on their big screen TVs of Eden Prairie football and hockey. Also have delicious food that's offered 7 days a week, including some great breakfast options. Find more information about the Tavern on 4 and 5. Just click on that link above your game tracker screen. That's the Tavern on 4 and 5.
109. Interference at 109.
And Foose is able to clear it away for the Hornets as Eden Prairie will have to reset from their own zone. Andy Aguilar throws it into the zone where Graham, Middlestad, and Safgren will give chase. And it's cleared away by Edina and slowed down by DeRocher. Been over 5 periods since Eden Prairie has scored a goal on the Hornets. Edina shut out Eden Prairie. It takes a weird deflection and nearly deflects in. Now it's Brady Shue from the point. Shue to Michael Graham. Graham passes it to the corner to Middlestad. They'll feed it back up top to Shue. Passes over to Mark Sullivan. Now to the end boards. It's Graham. Graham gets tied up and kicks it to Middlestad. Up to Shue, back to Middlestad. Now Graham with 30 seconds on the power play. Middlestad walks his way to the point, and his pass was deflected. Kind of a deliberate pace so far here on the power play as they're under 20 seconds. Now tied up along the far side. This is Mark Sullivan from the point, and that one gets deflected into the goalpost. Mark Sullivan to hold it in as Edina is full strength. And now, Middlestad kind of gets an unlucky bounce there as he was ready to try to work around Kobe Bowe, who is kind of out of position. We remain 2-0. Shot back into the zone. It's Brady Shue for Eden Prairie. Shue finds Boldenau, and then he swats it into the Edina end. Now the Hornets with control, and they'll dump it in. And DeRocher will be forced to cover it up with a little over 13 minutes left as we get a little love tap after the whistle. Not quite as much hitting after the whistle as we've seen between these two teams over their past few matchups. Maybe feeling a little more generous with it being Valentine's Day. And now Lieberman's actually going to head to the box as there are some disagreements here in the arena among those penalties, but that'll be offset as an Edina player will also head to the box, and it's none other than Parker Mismash. So Parker Mismash with another eventful game. He has 2 penalties. He's also drawn a penalty, and he has an assist. Typically the kind of game you see for him where he has 2 good things on the score sheet and 2 not so good things.
2 minutes for roughing Edina's number 16.
Now Brett Bolden out.
2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Those are coincidental minor penalties.
Well, we're going to stay 5 on 5. As you heard the PA announcer say, those are coincidentals.
347. Roughing and unsportsmanlike conduct.
Here's Dylan Malmquist along the right side. I'm going to say probably a good job there by the officials. If you're going to assess any penalties, make sure it stays 5 on 5, as there wasn't really anything particularly malicious by either side during that last sequence. Here's Malmquist. Oh, a great pass across to the weak side, but hitting it just wide was Matt Masterman. Now Cole Lawrence will chase it down in the corner. Icing waved off. Game is kind of lulled to a 2-0 pace with a whole lot of scoring chances type action. It's kind of the old adage here when you have a 2-0 game like this where you think the next team to score will probably hang on and win. Here's a blast from Noah Deraney that sails over the net. Now it's Nolan Sullivan from the corner. Brady Shue, kind of a half shot / half pass, and now it's Edina out at neutral. Dornbach will touch it into the zone where it's picked up by Patrick Haug. 11:37, Edina up 2-0 as that puck slides across the crease. Hornets still with possession in the Eden Prairie zone. It's Henry Bowlby who has that second goal for these Hornets, as they'll play it back into the corner to Brady Shue. Shue sends a long pass up ahead to Argetsinger. Argetsinger leaves it for Middlestad. Middlestad weaving his way to the slot, takes a shot, and Kobe Bowe with a nice save for Edina. Give you a last look at that scoring chance by Casey Middlestad. Don't have the official numbers in this department, but I'd venture to say that Middlestad at least leads Eden Prairie in shots on goal here in tonight's game. Credit Edina for keeping he and Michael Graham relatively quiet in their series of games so far this season. Again, Graham with just 1 goal in 2+ games against Edina. And having some trouble with it is DeRocher, and it's a break there for Eden Prairie as the net comes loose. 10:50 to go here in the third period. Randy Warmbier's State Farm Insurance Office is a great way to shop and save for your insurance needs, whether it's home, auto, or renters. They got you covered with State Farm. Brandy's locally involved in the community. She's a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbier.com, your connection here in the Southwest Metro. BrandyWarmbier.com. And that puck was played with a high stick, so we'll have a face-off in the Eagle zone. And as we mentioned during our second intermission, we are not planning on streaming any Section 2 or Section 6 playoff games as of now. We would just be providing Twitter updates. We're trying to work with the folks over at Prep 45 about possibly streaming the 2AA and 6AA championship, but nothing set up with that as of yet. But you can keep posted on our Twitter feed and also on our website, psbmn.com, should we be able to provide coverage of the 2AA and 6AA championship games. Here's Nick Lieberman from the corner. Turns it over, and now it's Malmquist in front. It's Garrett Waite. Oh, great backdoor pass to Parker Mismash. Then he backhands it back out in front. There's a good sequence there for Edina. Give you a replay of that last chance here on the fly. Now we'll take you full screen live as it's Garrett Waite into the Eden Prairie zone. There's Parker Mismash. And Mismash kind of been in the middle of everything. He has 2 penalties. He's drawn a penalty and also has an assist here in the game tonight. Backhanded into the zone where it'll be picked up by Andy Aguilar behind the net. Aguilar to Riley Argetsinger as he gets checked into the penalty box area. Shots on goal starting to creep a little bit more towards an even stat. 27-16, Edina leads in shots on goal. And Middlestad from the corner. Now Argetsinger. And Middlestad lost the puck. Edina again playing good defense here against high-end players for Eden Prairie. Now loose at the point. Lieberman will just push it away. And now out at neutral. It'll be dumped in by Bram Scheer. Lieberman finds Casey Middlestad. And we're going to get a whistle from behind the play, and I think we're going to get a hand pass. Are we going to get? No, we're actually going to get coincidental penalties assessed to Bram Scheer and Nick Lieberman. Second, it looked like the referee was signaling hand pass, but instead we'll just get offsetting penalties and remain 5-on-5. A little bad to the bone playing over the loudspeakers here at Braemar. I feel like Al Bundy's got to be starting something out on the grill. Remember that song back from the Married with Children show. 8:15, third period. Edina out to a 2-0 lead. There's the clock starting to become an issue here for Eden Prairie.
Time of the penalties, 8:37.
Eden Prairie's gone now 5.5 periods without scoring on the Hornets. Last goal Eden Prairie scored on Edina was a dramatic game-tying goal back in the championship of the Edina Holiday Classic. It sent a game to overtime that was eventually won by Edina 4-3. And in their second matchup, Edina shut out Eden Prairie 5-0 a few weeks ago at the EP Community Center. Kind of an unbelievable stat considering how long these two teams have played, but Eden Prairie's actually never beaten Edina at the EP Community Center. Now a puck loose in front, and then Bram Scheer fanned, or excuse me, that was Foose who fanned on that shot. Tried to thread that across, broken up by the Eden Prairie defense. And that puck slides just wide. Wes Young from the corner finds Brett Boldenau. Banked but not out as Edina shoots it right back into the corner. Turned over, here's Garrett Waite trying to work his way around the Eden Prairie defense. His shot gets blocked. Kind of some sloppy play here over the last few minutes. It's under 7 minutes to go. 2-0 Edina with the lead over Eden Prairie. As it's Brady Shue trying to saucer that ahead for Mark Sullivan. Now it's Shue in support. Shue one-on-one. Trying to snipe a shot past Kobe Bowe, but he puts it just wide. Here's Garrett Waite stopping, spinning, still with possession. Now he gets sandwiched off the puck. And now a possible 2-on-1, Middlestad and Argetsinger. Good back check by Edina. Middlestad with a low kind of line drive shot turned away by Kobe Bowe. And now trying to work his way around to check with Sam Walker. Actually check that, it was Malmquist. And Malmquist scores again! Dylan Malmquist with his second goal on the night, and Edina leads 3-0. What a game for Dylan Malmquist, now with 2 goals and an assist. And that one might pretty much put this game out of reach. A loose puck just kind of found the stick there of Dylan Malmquist as he was able to snipe it past Sean DeRocher. And now it's a 3-0 commanding lead for these Hornets. We are getting a conversation between the officials. Oh, there's some Eden Prairie fans signaling no goal, but looks like their protest will come to no avail as it will count. Some fans saying the net may have been dislodged, but
scoring for Edina, number
They're still having a conversation at the bench.
With the assist to number 16, Parker Mismash. An even straight goal for Edina.
As Dornbach gets thrown out of the face-off circle. There's still some Eden Prairie fans protesting the call, saying it should have been waved off. As Edina is offsides. 5:53, third period. 3-0 Edina with the lead. And if you'd like us to webcast your games, we can do so here at PSB Media. Just contact us on the contact page on psbmn.com. Doesn't even have to necessarily be a sporting event. Earlier this winter, we streamed an ice dive over on Lake Minnetonka, so different ways we can get your events on air in HD. Just contact us right here at PSB Media. There's Edina from their own end. It's Henry Bowlby. He's able to push it into the zone. Brady Shue from behind the net. Finds Nolan Sullivan. Sent it right back in. Dornbach trying to thread a needle and pass it to Bowlby. Here's Brady Shue across the red line. And Shue to the top of the circle. He gets stood up, and now it's Bowlby going the other way. Possible 2-on-2 for the Hornets. And Bowlby snipes a shot from the top of the circle, and it's snared out of the air by Sean DeRocher. We're on Twitter at PSBMN. Make sure you give us a follow. We'll be tweeting all throughout the section playoffs in 6AA, especially during the doubleheader coming up next Saturday, which is one of the funner days of high school hockey throughout the season when you get the doubleheaders taking place at Braemar and Bloomington Ice Garden for the 2AA and 6AA playoffs. Should be some good matchups, especially in 6AA, which should be pretty wide open with squads like Minnetonka, Eden Prairie, Benilde, Wayzata, Holy Family vying for that state berth in 6AA. 2AA's got some good teams, but Edina certainly is the overwhelming favorite, but certainly don't sleep on some good teams like Bloomington Jefferson, Prior Lake. In fact, a lot of people feel Prior Lake probably the most legitimate challenger to Eden Prairie for that section title. We have a penalty assessed to Edina and didn't catch the number, but he was not too thrilled about that call. Hey, Kristen. And off the draw, it's won by Eden Prairie. Pass to the corner to Middlestad. Now Graham at the point. One-timer to Graham. Now a rebound. Bow makes the save. Middlestad from the dot. Now one-timer back to Graham, and that one may have caught a body on the way, but it goes wide. Didn't pick that up from the PA. It was Ben Foley who got the penalty for the Hornets. Here's Graham at the point. Graham waiting through traffic, takes a shot again. Was deflected. Now a 2-on-2 shorthanded opportunity for the Hornets. As crossing the blue line is Haug. Takes a shot, and DeRocher makes the save in support. Paul Meyer will fling it right back into the zone. 1:08 on the Eden Prairie power play. As now it's Aguilar setting that across to Mark Sullivan. And that one hit the referee inadvertently, and kind of a break there for Edina. Graham from his own zone passes it across to Andy Aguilar. 3:17 in regulation and a little over 40 seconds on the power play. Here's Nolan Sullivan into the Hornet zone. Now Michael Graham from the corner. Graham, had Boldenau on the doorstep, but they couldn't quite connect on that pass. Now 2-on-1 opportunity for Edina. And fanning on his pass was number 10, Sam Walker. Here's Michael Graham for Eden Prairie. Now Middlestad. Boldenau can't pull the trigger on that pass, and it hits the ceiling as we'll get a whistle with 9 seconds to go on the power play. And 2:41 here in regulation. So should this score hold, Edina would move to 22-1-2 on the season, an outstanding record for them. Their highest number of wins they've had in quite some time. Eden Prairie would fall to 16-9, but still a very respectable record considering the tough schedule they played. Cole Lawrence across to Nick Lieberman.
Edina, full strength.
Now Foley finds Dornbach.
Are at full strength.
As we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Bowlby from the corner. Tried to pass it up to the point. To number 18, Clayton Phillips. Now Masterman, his shot blocked. Safgren from the corner. And now they try to send that across. Oh, what a job to wait by Dornbach, but he fired it just over the net. Great patience shown, though, by the junior forward. Certainly will be a key cog on next year's Edina Hornet team. Now Masterman from the point, trying to go high stick side. That one goes wide. And now DeRocher with a great save, kind of making an awkward stab at it from a shot from Clayton Phillips. A nice save by him as there's a minute 38 in regulation. Edina up 3-0. Maybe a last look at that shot from Phillips. I'd like to congratulate the Edina girls hockey team who advanced to the state tournament yesterday, beating the Eden Prairie girls hockey team in overtime in Richfield 4-3. As the girls from Edina pulled a big upset against Eden Prairie, who was the prohibitive favorite to win the state championship. But Edina credit them with a great effort as Gopher women recruit Taylor Williamson scored the game-winning goal for the Hornets in overtime, as they'll head back to the state tournament. Eden Prairie had beaten Edina during the previous two section championships, so a little bit of vengeance for the Edina girls hockey team. But congratulations to both squads on a well-played game from Richfield yesterday, and certainly a congratulations to the Eden Prairie girls and their seniors who we've seen for a few years now playing hockey, who really brought that program back to prominence after having a couple of down years.
1 minute remaining.
Now Wes Young with a slap shot that sails over the net. Under a minute to go here in the third period. Edina into the offensive zone, now the corner. Up to the point they find Ben Foley as he'll flip it into the zone. And now it's Andy Aguilar from the end wall. Aguilar finds Graham. Graham stood up near the blue line. Now takes a bounce to Nolan Sullivan, still loose in front. Rail able to hold it in with just over 20 seconds, and Kobe Bowe is able to glove that out of the air as we get a little pushing and shoving here after the whistle. Well said, during the first two periods didn't see a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle, but it certainly picked up a little bit here in the third period as Middlestad will actually head to the penalty box. A rare penalty for Casey Middlestad, a guy who, well, he doesn't head to the box, but they kind of got him in frustration, as I think we're going to get Middlestad and Nolan Sullivan in the box, while just one Edina player will head to the penalty box. So I think this will be a Hornet power play. And indeed that is the case, as the referee signaling the players to take the face-off down near the Eden Prairie goal. Just again during the last 20 seconds, thanks for tuning in all season long to our coverage of Eden Prairie boys high school hockey. Been a pleasure bringing you coverage all year long. Again, we're not planning on streaming any playoff games, but we will provide Twitter updates so you can follow your Eagles and also your Hornets during the section playoffs here at PSB Media.
It's an Edina power play, Edina 5-on-4.
Final 7 seconds, one more opportunity for Edina. If it's tied up in the corner, and that'll do it as the Hornets win the regular season finale and shut out Eden Prairie by a 3-0 final. We'll take a timeout and have the Sun Current postgame show on the way next. This is high school hockey right here on PSB Media.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
And welcome back to Prairie Arena as Edina tops Eden Prairie by a final score of 3-0 here in the regular season finale as the Hornets move to 22-1-2. Eden Prairie drops to 16-9. Although in the section standings, Eden Prairie should remain the number 1 seed in 6AA. Edina will be the number 1 seed coming up in 2AA when those playoff brackets are released later on this evening and also into tomorrow morning. Let's see if we can give you the final scoring recap of tonight's game. Scoring just 27 seconds into the game was Edina's Dylan Malmquist, his 25th goal of the season to put the Hornets up 1-0, and then extended that lead to 2-0 at the 11-minute mark of the second period as Henry Bowlby was able to score his 7th goal of the season. Malmquist with the assist. Then to cap off the scoring at 10:58 of the third period, Malmquist scored his 2nd goal of the game to give the Hornets a 3-0 lead. Special teams numbers, Edina 1 for 3 on the power play. Edina 1 for 3, Eden Prairie 0 for 5, and shots on goal 32-20. Edina led in that department. And thanks for tuning in all season long to our coverage of Southwest Metro hockey here on PSB. We'll not be broadcasting any playoff games, but we will provide Twitter updates during the section semifinals and section championship. And there is still a small chance we might be able to stream the 2AA and 6AA championships if we can work out a deal with possibly Prep 45, but still nothing set in stone with that yet. You can follow along on Twitter at PSBMN or also on our website, psbmn.com. Post-game show was brought to you by the Sun Current, your community news leader for over 50 years. Whether you're looking to follow along here in the Southwest Metro with school board, also city council, community events, arts and entertainment, or local high school sports, that's the Sun Current. Their website, mobile user-friendly at current.mnsun.com. That'll do it here from Braemar, as again the final score, Edina knocks off Eden Prairie 3-0 here in the regular season finale. For Brett Johnson and the rest of the crew here at PSB, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next season.
Thanks for tuning in to live, local, play-by-play coverage of tonight's game. Thanks for tuning in to live, local, play-by-play coverage of tonight's game. Catch all the action all season long on your home for Southwest Metro Sports, PSB Media. Tonight's game was brought to you by The Mulch Store, Umbria Gourmet Pizzeria, Athlete PT, Noodles & Company of Eden Prairie, The Sun Current, The Tavern on 4 and 5, and in partnership with Minnesota Football Magazine, the Pioneer Press, and BEC TV. You can find an archived broadcast of tonight's game available 24/7 on psbmn.com.